Hello, welcome to all Nanashe Academy. Today we are going to learn an English poem, A Tiger in the Zoo by George Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris was a prize-winning Wales poet and short story writer. He is considered as most important Wales writer of the post-war period, and his literary works have won many prizes. His famous works are A Tiger in the Zoo in 1938, Finding Gold in 1967, Phoenix Living Poet Series Ransom in 1970, The Collected Poem in 1996, etc. The poem is He stalks in his weaved stripes the few steps of his gaze on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet race. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the waterhole where plump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle as, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his stand behind bars, stalking the length of his gaze, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Now, difficult words used in this poem are stalk means follow, weaved means bright colors, pads means paws of tiger, race means anger, locking means to be hidden as to wait for his prey, snarling means warning sound made by animals, bearing means uncovered, fangs means sharp tooth of animals, concrete means building made of brick, cement, sand, and water, patrolling means to guard, to whistle. First stanza of the poem. He stalks in his weaved stripes the few steps of his gaze on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet race. In the first stanza, poet says that tiger which is kept in the zoo moves around in the cage under his bright colored skin. He further says that the tiger can take only a few steps because the cage is small and it is not easy to move in it. One cannot hear his footsteps because he has very soft feet, like velvet, because of which there is no sound of the tiger footsteps. The tiger tries to control his anger by quietly walking in the limited area of his cage. He is angry because he is not free. Now, literary device used in this poem are first one, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B, second and fourth line of this stanza and with the letters case and race. Second is personification. The tiger is personified because the poet refers him as he. Third is metaphor. Tiger paws are compared with velvet, pads of velvet. Fourth is instrument. Sentence is continued to next line without any punctuation mark. Fifth is imagery. Poet tries to create an image about the tiger in the line first and second. Sixth is assonance. Use of vowel sound I in the letters in his weaved stripes. Consonance. Use of S sound in the letters stalks his stripes. Oxymoron. Use of adjective opposite in meaning in the fourth line quiet race. Now second stanza of the poem. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the waterhole where plump deer pass. In the second stanza, the poet says that if this tiger was free, he would have hid himself behind the long grass near the water bodies so that he could easily catch a deer for his food. Basically, the poet wants to say that the actual life of a tiger is to live in jungle where he could catch his prey and eat it. But the tiger in the case cannot do all this. Now, literary device used in this stanza. First one, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is A, B, C, B. Second and fourth line and with the letter grass and pass. Second is instrument. Line continue to next line without punctuation mark. Alliteration. Use of sound P at the start of two words plump, pass. Fourth is imagery. The poet has tried to create an image of tiger's activity in the letters lurking in shadow. Now third stanza of the poem is He should be snarling around houses at the jungle as, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. In the third stanza, the poet says that if the tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around the houses located at the boundaries of the forest. He would terrorize people with his sharp tooth and claws. This would create fear among the people living in the village. Now, literary device used in this stanza, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is ABCB, the second and fourth line, and with the letters as and village. Second is insament, line continue to next line without punctuation mark. Third is assonance, use of vowel sound O and I. O is used in should, around, houses. I used in bearing, his, white, his. Fourth is consonance, use of consonant sound as in the letters his fangs, his claws. Fifth is onomatopoeia, using words which denote sound. The word snarling. Now, fourth stanza of the poem is, but he is locked in a concrete cell, he stands behind bars, stalking the length of his case, ignoring visitors. In the fourth stanza, the poet comes to the reality of the tiger that is inside the case. He says that the tiger is kept in a strong cell which is made of strong building material. He says that as the tiger is behind bars, so his Frosty is also behind the bars. He just stuck in the case. He never tries to terrorize the visitor because his bar is controlled by the case. Therefore, he never tries to frighten the visitor as he cannot attack them. Now, literary device used in this stanza are first one, rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is ABCB, the second and fourth line and with the letters bars and visitor. Second is personification. The tiger is personified because the poet refers him as he. Third is assonance, use of vowel sound E in the letters he locked concrete cell. Fourth is alliteration, use of sound B at the start of two words behind bars. Fifth is consonance, use of consonant sound S in the letters his strength bars. Now, fifth stanza of the poem is, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. In the last stanza, the poet says that in the night, the tiger hears the sound of the patrolling cars. Patrolling cars are the vehicle of police which are used to guard at night. He then gazes at the shining stars with his shining eyes. The poet wants to say that the tiger is sad as he is confined in the cage, so he cannot do anything. Therefore, he stares at the stars in the night and tries to divert his thoughts toward them. Now, literary device used in this stanza are rhyming scheme. Rhyme scheme is ABCB as the second and fourth line and with the letters cars and stars. Second is insament. Line third continue to the line fourth without any punctuation mark. Third is alliteration. Use of sound H in the starting of two words he hears. Fourth is assonance. Use of I sound in letters with his brilliant. Now, summary of the poem. This poem compares a tiger in the zoo with another tiger in its natural habitat. The poem moves from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. The poem provides a contrast in the mood and environment of a tiger that is kept in the zoo and another tiger that lives in the forest. In the zoo, he has no freedom. He is kept in a cemented cage. He feels angry, frustrated, and helpless. This reminds him of his natural habitat. He is hiding and sliding in the long grass near the waterhole and pouncing upon the fat deer. The way he terrorized the villagers, exposing his sharp teeth and claws. At night in the zoo, he hears the sound of patrolling cars. The tiger in the zoo appears helpless as to be a mere masterpiece or source of entertainment to people. He pays no attention to the visitor who came to watch him. In the silence of the night, he stares at the brilliant stars with his bright eyes. The poet wants to convey a message that it is cruel to keep wild animals in small cages of the zoo. Theme of the poem. This poem explains the difference and contrast of the life of tiger in the zoo and its natural habitat forest. The poet describes that everyone, including the animal, enjoy their freedom. Therefore, being caged frustrates the zoo animal too, and that is why we should not cage them and let them live in their natural habitat. The tiger is a fearless, powerful, and proud creature. Like human being, he also loves freedom. This poem beautifully conveys a message of freedom. Now question answer from NCERT book. First one. Read the poem again and work in a pair or groups to do the following task. First one. Find the words and describe the movement and actions of the tiger in the cage and in the wild. Arrange them into columns. Second is find the words that describes the two places and arrange them into column. Now try to share idea about how the poet used words and images to contrast the two situations. Answer to the first question is in the case. Stalk, quiet race, ignoring visitor, hears the sound of patrolling cars, stares at star. In the wild, locking in shadow, sliding through long grass, snarling round houses, baring his white fangs, terrorizing the village. Answer to the second question is case. Few steps off his case, locked in concrete cell, his strength behind bars, ignoring visitor. Wild tiger, shadow, long grass, snarling around houses, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now, second question. Notice the use of a word repeated in lines such as this. First one, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet race. Second, and stare his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. What do you think is the effect of this repetition? Answer to this question is the poet has repeated the words to give a beautiful impact to his poem, like the use of quiet with velvet pads describes that the tiger has to walk in the limited area of his cage. He cannot run as he had it in the forest, whereas quiet race shows the hidden anger inside him, which has grown stronger because of his imprisonment in the cage. The next word he used is brilliant. The word brilliant in the first line means the twinkling bright stars, and the brilliant words used for the tiger eyes shows the sadness of the tiger who would have led a free and fearless life if he was in the jungle. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, like and share the video.